Hey fam, welcome back to the YouTube channel where we keep it real and dive into the conversation that matters. Today we are tackling something big. Candace Owens. Remember the name, Candace Owens. At the congregational hearing on confronting white supremacy. Yeah, you had that right. Now, lover or hater, Candace has a way of shaking the room, and this time is no different. This testimony has been making waves, sparking debates in the black community and beyond. But here is the real question. Is she dropping her truths, or is it just noises wrapped in controversy? As Black Americans, this discussion isn't just theoretical, it is our lives, our history, and our future. So I want us to listen closely, analyze the points, and really ask ourselves who benefits from what is being said. Stick around because we're going to break it all down, piece by piece, and I will save my personal take for the very end. I promise you don't want to miss this. So grab your tea, settle in, and let's get into it. My name is Ken, the storyteller, and always subscribe. Let's watch the video.
I just have to say that I object strenuously to your use of the word hilarious. To me, this feels a lot like your reaction to being named in one of these manifestos. Now, you're of course not responsible for the words of somebody writing that document, but I do think that laughing at it is a real problem because these are real families that are impacted by this violence. And I think our efforts towards talking about this have to start from a place of mutual respect, which is what I've heard from this side of the table. Now, the reason we don't have those numbers, I want those numbers as much as you do, but to say the numbers don't show something is simply not supported by the data.
Okay, and I have 38 seconds left, Ms. Mulligan, if you want to respond within that time.
The only thing I would add is that it's in the name. Terrorism, domestic terrorism, it terrorizes us. It terrorizes us in our homes. It terrorizes us in our schools. And to the points made by the other panelists, it is disproportionate to its impact on any individual life, and it's not.
You reject the idea it's something that doesn't matter or doesn't really matter?
Absolutely reject.
Okay. All right, so here's where we are. Every member now has had 5 minutes and... Okay, and Mr. Clay, so we have two members who have not. So I'm going to go to the two members who have not yet, and we'll give an opportunity for a closing thought to any member who wants before we go.
Am I next to respond, or is Mr. Meadows?
I thought Mr. Meadows was
Mr.
next.
Meadows, okay.
Mr. Meadows is next, then Mr. Clay, then to you, Mr. Jordan.
Ms. Owens, obviously this is a gang up on you. You know, we're giving these witnesses the ability to do a rebuttal on you, and so you know, I find it unfair, Ms. Ballou. I mean, you know, candidly, for you to show mutual respect and then you to go after Ms. Owens, it's not appropriate. So, Ms. Owens, you can have 4 minutes and 34 seconds to respond. However,
yield for a second.
I'll yield to the.
Thank you. I believe, Ms. Owens, when you used the word hilarious, it was referencing the fact that no one had asked you a question. It wasn't to the subject matter of the hearing. Is that right?
That is correct.
And to have another witness insinuate something that is not accurate is just not appropriate, Mr. Chairman, for how witnesses are supposed to behave in front of this committee. I also think you didn't say it doesn't matter about the subject matter of today's hearing. You said there are other subjects that matter as well, and maybe we should spend some time on those. Is that accurate?
That is correct, and they matter much, 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 much more, and I have said that. I said that in my opening, and I will say it again. You know that white supremacy and white nationalism ranks nowhere near the top of the issues that are facing Black America. And the reason that you are bringing them up in this room is because it is attempt to make the election all about race, as the Democrats
Not in
do.
my case, Ms. Owens. I'm sorry. Please do not characterize my motive.
Mr. Chairman, it's my time.
Yeah,
it's my time.
You've got your time, Mr. Meadows. I'll give you 3 more seconds.
Every 4 years, you bring up race, and you knew exactly what I meant when I said hilarious, and you just tried to do live what the media does all the time to Republicans, to our president, and to conservatives, which you tried to manipulate what I said to fit your narrative, okay? I was not referring to the subject matter that is hilarious. I said it's hilarious that we are sitting in this room today, and I've got 2 doctors and a missus, and nobody can give us real numbers that we can respond to so we can assess how big of a threat this is, because you know that it is not as big of a threat as you are trying to make it out to be so that you can manipulate. And the audacity of you to bring up the Christchurch shooting manifesto and make it seem as if I laughed at people that were slaughtered by a homicidal maniac is, in my opinion, absolutely despicable, and I think that we should be above that. To try to assign reality or any meaning to a homicidal maniac writing a manifesto, which, by the way, let the record show, also stated Spyro the Dragon, the child's cartoon, as a source of inspiration. He also cited Nelson Mandela as a source of information. I don't think that Nelson Mandela has inspired mosque shootings. You can correct me if you think I'm wrong. You would rather assign meaning to a homicidal maniac than to actually address the things that I said today that are actually harming Black America. Number one, father absence. Number two, the education system and the illiteracy rate. Illegal immigration ranks high, abortion ranks high, white supremacy and white nationalism, if I had to make a list again of 100 things, would not be on it. This hearing, in my opinion, is a farce, and it is ironic that you're sitting here and you're having 3 Caucasian people testify and tell you what their expertise are. Do I know what my expertise are? Black in America. I've been Black in America my whole life, all 30 years, and I can tell you that you guys have done the exact same thing every 4 years ahead of an election cycle, and it needs to stop.
I'll yield back.
Thank you, Mr. Meadows. And now
What an insightful video. Now let's talk about what Candace actually said. She challenged the narrative of white supremacy being the greatest threat. Candace argues that focusing on white supremacy distracts from other critical issues like black on black violence or economic empowerment. But here's the thing, does acknowledging systemic racism mean if we ignore other issues? It is not either or, it's both, and we need to address systemic barriers and the challenge within our communities. She downplays the impact of systemic racism. Candace point to personal responsibilities and claims systemic racism is overstated. Now I get it. Individual accountability matters, but let's not act like systemic barriers don't exist. Housing, education, healthcare, these aren't myths in farm in USA. They are realities that have been weaponized against us for a generation. She questions the motive of these hearings. This is where it gets interesting. Candace suggests these discussions aren't politically motivated and don't result in real solution. That's a fair critic. Talking without action is pointless, but does dismissing the problem entirely help us find solutions? That's the real question. Again, I point up to you. Talking without action is pointless, but does dismissing the problem entirely help us find solutions? This has always been the case. We talk, but we don't give solutions. But dismissing the problem, does it really take away the problem? That's the real question. What do you all think? Drop your thoughts in the comment section. I want to hear from you. My personal take from all that. Here is where I stand from family. Candace Owens knows how to start the pot, and that's a skill. But when it comes to confronting white supremacy, we can't afford to dismiss or the reductionize it. This isn't just about an individual opinion. It's about the system that shapes our lives and the narrative that influences our future. We need to have this hard conversation, not to argue, but to strategize. We need to be building solutions that address both systemic barriers and internal challenges, and we need to focus on empowerment, not division. At the end of the day, fam, this conversation aren't about one person. They're about us, our history, our struggles, and the legacy we are leaving behind. That's why this channel exists, to dissect, discuss, and grow together. If this video made you think, if it sparked something in you, do me a favor, hit that like button, subscribe, share it with someone who needs to hear this. And remember, knowledge is power, but community is unstoppable. Let's keep building, learning, and growing together. Until next time, stay strong, stay informed, and stay unapologetically you. Peace. My name is Ken the Storyteller, and this is MC Tali's channel. Always subscribe. Adios, muchachos.